Hello, everybody. My name is Drew Luther, and I know I'm late for the party because this video was uploaded a year ago, June 1st, 2022, and it's August 15th, 2023. Um, Today I'm going to be reacting to Total Chaos in Texas Shooting Lunatic Family Erupts. I just want to discuss what they're talking about and why some of the stuff I think Lunatic Dag said is wrong. So let's just watch the video. And for now, let's go.
Listen, one thing that has broken my heart, and this is very serious, I want to have a conversation with you. Do you remember when our kids grew up in the schools, when they were coming up? You know, because our kids are older, Kyle's the youngest and everything else. But do you remember, we didn't have to worry about all this crazy shit that's going on now in the schools and everything else. Now, this shit in Texas, I don't know about you, but I have never been more disappointed in our government, in the police, how they handled it.
Some people, some people say that, like Brandon Tatum, say that wasn't the police officer's fault. Now, yeah, the government, because the government's always trying to take our guns. Now, I'm upset about the government, like Dad is. So, yeah, I agree with I definitely agree with him on that.
And them poor children, losing their lives at such a young age. I seen all the pictures because up on CNN they showed all the victims and everything else. I couldn't even make it through all of the people who lost their lives. Them poor babies. But what gets me more pissed off, I don't know about your thoughts, but what pisses me off more is that an 18-year-old can get access legally to an AR-15. Now, an AR-15, it's meant to go ahead and destroy a lot of things at one time.
No, no, no. Okay, this is where I disagree with him on that. It cannot destroy a lot of things at one time. It's a semi-automatic rifle. A fully automatic rifle can do that, but not a semi-automatic rifle. Because semi-automatic rifles can shoot just as fast as you can pull the trigger. Like, look, see how fast I'm going like this with my finger? That the semi-automatic rifle does the same thing, but you're holding it and it just shoots by itself, where you don't have to pull the trigger so damn much. But a fully automatic rifle can go. Yeah. So that's where Lunatic Daggett is wrong right there.
What in the hell is a U.S. citizen, a normal, not military, having access to an AR-15?
Because
Well,
rich
because 18-year-olds can go and join the military, and they can pay. They are old enough to pay taxes, and they're old enough to have the contract under their own name. Yeah, so yeah, that's basically how old I am able to do. I mean, I'm not trying to be biased because I'm 18 now, but that's the truth.
Having access to an AR-15.
because rich, stupid, dumb assholes making money off of it. That's what it is. That's what it's for, nothing else.
There are some stupid rich dumb assholes making money off of some stuff, which is true, but I don't think it's that.
Yeah, the NRA.
Wait, 40 minutes? We're not watching this whole
Awesome,
thing.
Elon Musk.
Okay.
Which basically backs all the Republican candidates. All Republicans. The
I don't
NRA.
give a rat's ass who they back up. They getting rich off of it, poor little children being killed. Innocent people being
They're not getting rich. Well, the government may the government maybe, but not any not the governor of Texas. I'm sorry.
Because they make their money and they don't have to worry about it because nobody's going to shoot their asses. Why don't those freaking ass people go and buy the freaking ass gun and go and shoot their ass?
Well, there's also some rich elites that are able to afford security, but they don't understand why citizens need guns of their own. And that there's people like Sunny Host and that don't understand why people need to go to the shooting range. Like Sunny Host, and she would go, "Oh, why are you going to the shooting range? Are you about to plan on a gun shooting?" Well, it's because I don't have the fucking money to afford a security guy that already knows how to train, that already knows how to be good with a gun. Because I'm an average citizen. You're a rich woman, Sunny Host, then.
But what I'm trying to say is that in the state of Texas, you got to be 18 years old to be able to get an AR-15. But to get a handgun, just a regular handgun, you got to be 21.
Okay.
How fucked up is Texas to have that type of law? How fucked
They
up
all
are they?
stupid.
Well, it's probably because an AR-15 is bigger than a gun. Like, when Kyle Rittenhouse did a shooting to protect himself, he had to have an AR-15, and in that state he was in, you're old enough to be you're old enough to be 17 years old to have an AR-15. Not because it's big. It's not where you can put it in. It's not small like a handgun where you could put it in your pants. So when somebody sees you with an AR-15, they're more aware. Okay, this person's got a weapon. But if I have a handgun in my pocket, then nobody would know it's a secret. So they need more experience to be able to earn a handgun.
You're
Even about the freaking stupid ass cigarettes. Oh, you can go and do this and that, but you gotta go and buy your cigarettes when you're 21. But you gotta go and get jacked up who knows where on the side of the road.
Well, yeah, now that part I do agree. You can be 18 to join the military, but 21 to drink a beer and smoke cigarettes. Yeah, I think if you're old enough to and smart enough to join the military, you should be smart enough to. Then again, I'm not saying this because I'm 18 years old and I'm biased and I want to do that shit. But with that, she does have a point on that.
right.
Stupid.
Wait. You're hitting.
All the laws are stupid.
You're hitting some good shit on the point.
All the
Cigarettes.
laws are stupid.
Cigarettes, 21. A gun,
18.
18.
And on top of it,
How fucked up is our law
why
here
were
in the
they
United States?
even allowed to buy the stupidity over the freaking ass stupid computer?
How messed up
Asshole.
is society?
Assholes.
Now, yeah, our fucking society is soft as hell. Gen Z, not everybody. Some people in my generation, like me, are smart and they have common sense, but with idiots like Harry Sisson, I can't fucking stand Harry Sisson, and it makes my mom and dad's generation, Gen X, it makes them look more tough than we are, and it almost makes me wish that I was that part of their generation.
How messed up is society that we are allowing an 18-year-old? Some people, you know what their comeback is? Well, they can serve in the military.
Yeah.
Whoa. First off, being 18 to serve in the military, you're going to get training. You've got background checks. You've got all this other shit.
you can go and get training to that's what ammunition is for. That's what a shooting range is for. You can get training in a shooting range and not have to serve in the military too. And background checks, yeah, they may be helpful sometimes for people who've gone insane. Although I think criminals should be the one that don't deserve guns. But just because you have a background check doesn't mean you're never gonna go crazy. You can lose your mind after being a normal person. Okay, a background check may say that, hey, I'm not crazy yet, but it's not gonna prevent me from being crazy. But then again, that's what shooting ranges are for. You can get training in shooting ranges. You don't have to join the military to get training to get good with a gun. You can also go into shooting ranges.
Shit that you serve in our military. These kids nowadays are so emotionally fucked up.
Hold on, did he say something
These
about
kids nowadays are so shit that you serve in our military. These kids,
Did
you
he?
got all this other shit that you get training. You've got background checks. You've got all this other shit. You're going to get training. You've got background checks. You've got all this other shit.
Okay, he's about to say something about discipline. I thought he was, but don't worry. He'll if once he brings it up, I'll explain that with discipline.
That you serve in our military. These kids nowadays are so emotionally fucked up. Wait!
Hold on. What do you think? How old do they look?
12, 14?
Maybe 12, maybe 10. They didn't have a gun, but they had to go and fight. They had to fight for their life when there was a war.
In Poland.
When there was war.
In Poland.
War. Is there a war here?
I'm not sure what she's looking up on her phone. I can't see it. She's probably talking about something that happened years ago. Back then when kids would have to work in sewing machines, which was a dangerous job in the early 1900s. That's what she's probably looking up, what she's talking about. But speaking of war, if our enemies like the Russians, the Chinese, if they find out that we are handicapped and we don't have any guns, they're gonna come in here and start some shit and they're gonna start a war here. And people like Whoopi Cushion, aka Whoopi Goldberg on The View, she says, well, why do you need to fight war here? Why can't you just fight your war out there? Well, if some terrorist tries to come here and sees that we're handicapped without guns and we don't have guns to defend ourselves or our surroundings, they're gonna start some shit. Like, back then when when we were in Revolutionary War against Britain, they thought they were expecting it to just be military people to have guns, but instead it wasn't just military people. It had average American citizens also had guns too, so they were outnumbered Britain. So we like so as long as even average American citizens have guns, our enemies like the Russians and the Chinese, they can't fuck with us because there's too many people with guns. And they won't let their American citizens have guns either. Not even still today, Britain doesn't. I'm glad that we're not enemies with Britain anymore, which is a good thing. But they still, to this day, they still won't let their own citizens have their own guns. And they're doing the same shit with Canada and Australia, which is fucked up.
That they need a freaking stupid ass guns like that? Are they freaking stupid assholes that, oh, my amendment, my stupid amendment? They don't even know what their amendments are.
I know what the Constitution is. Everybody knows. First Amendment is freedom of speech. The Second Amendment is right to bear arms, which is the one that we're talking about. And I know most of the amendments, not every single amendment, because it's a lot. There's like 27 amendments. The Fourth Amendment is unreasonable search warrants, so the police officers or FBI or anybody can't go and search your house when they have no evidence against you. The Fifth Amendment is where you can be silent and not have to answer any questions, and you can have a lawyer to speak for you. The Sixth Amendment, right to speed trial. You can have trial and figure out what is going on, what are you being accused of, and you can question somebody that's accusing you. The Eighth Amendment, I forgot what it's called, but it's the amendment that stops people from, when you commit a crime, it stops you from having getting cruel and unreasonable punishment against you. So they can't execute me for vandalizing a car, or they can't set bail for $5 million because I stole a candy bar. And the 13th Amendment is where we had to, I believe is, yeah, the 13th Amendment is, I get a little bit mixed up with the 13th and 14th Amendment, but I think the 13th Amendment is the one where the equal protection rights, where you can't be treated differently by either your gender, the color of your skin. And the 14th Amendment is when we abolished slavery. And the 15th Amendment when we gave black people the right to vote. And I know that's not all of the Constitution, but I know most of them. So, yeah, I mean, I know the whole entire Constitution, but I know most of them. And I know that there are idiots that don't know a lot of them. And the 13th, the 14th Amendment, and the 15th Amendment should prove, that history should prove why America's not racist. Yes, we had a fucked up history back in the day. It was a fucked up world back then, but it's a different world we're living in now.
I'm agreeing. You have a right to bear arms.
No, that's stupidity.
But,
For what?
this stuff that they have.
Did she say that she doesn't, that the Second Amendment is stupidity? What did she say about that?
But,
For what?
this stuff that they have that you can convert a regular rifle into a semi-automatic. My question to any gun owner. Now, mind you, I'm a gun owner. I'm a fucking gun owner.
My dad's a gun owner too, and I'd like him to debate him.
I believe in the right to bear arms. But, with that being said, you cannot tell me that these semi-automatics, that they are used for hunting. They are used
Yes, I
for
can.
target practice. You can't target practice something that shoots out 10, 15 rounds at a time.
What do you mean, like, at a time? Like a second? A minute? Like 30 seconds? A minute? What do you mean? If you're talking about a second, it can't shoot 1,000 rounds at a time. That's not what a semi-automatic does. It doesn't. Like, it shoots at least maybe a little bit over 100 a minute.
You can't do it.
Well, they don't
How
shoot
stupid
10,
it
15
is.
rounds.
What?
They don't shoot 10, 15 rounds at once. It's a
Exactly.
single shot. Semi-auto is a single shot. They might
Yeah.
have a first shot, but that's illegal.
When they put the bump stops on, it goes 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Look it up.
10 to 15. No, it doesn't. Let's look at bump stocks. Bump stocks, see? That goes on the back of your gun. It doesn't go on the trigger or the chamber or anything. It goes onto the back of the gun. The bump stocks are to help you, where it goes to your chest, so that way it doesn't kick back, and you could have an easy. It makes it easier for you to aim and shoot something, and when you're aiming, that's what the bump stocks are for. They're not to make the AR-15 shoot faster. Now let's look up AR-15. And let's look it up. How many rounds does an shoot? They're like 30 round magazines. Yes, that's true. Available to comply with legal restrictions for hunting. legal restrictions for hunting, bench rest, shooting, or larger. Magazine can be where a larger magazine can be convenient. Well, sometimes you have to have a larger magazine because somebody could have more magazines than you do if they're going to try to kill you and take your life away.
Yeah.
But I mean,
No.
Yeah, okay, they're not. You can say they're used for hunting, or they're not used for hunting, but they really are used for hunting. You use them for boar hunting, for bear hunting.
So.
Yeah, you can use them
if
for
you're
hunting.
Go ahead and go deer hunting, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna obliviate the fuck out of the deer.
What is that?
Well, you can. Well, in Texas, we have hog problems. You could be hunting, and all of a sudden a fucking hog, like in Grand Theft Auto 5, in Grand Theft Auto 5, where when you're up in one of the tallest mountains in Grand Theft Auto 5 in the game, all of a sudden you hear, and a fucking panther comes at you and tries to maul you up. The hogs can do the same shit to you in Texas. So when you're hunting, if a hog comes after you, you're gonna need to use that AR-15 to attack it to save your life. Because a fucking wild animal could come up to you and bite you in the ass. So yeah, they're more helpful than you think they are, Lunatic Dad.
Yes. Right? Yeah. You're gonna obliviate the fuck out of the deer.
What did that poor deer
What
do
do you
to
want
you?
to?
Make sure I get this some bitch.
Wait.
What did that deer do
Most
to you?
people will go ahead, and it's called venison meat, by the way.
Yes, I know what it's called. I hunt all the time.
I'm just letting you.
Okay.
Exactly, and I would not eat that.
Why?
Poor
The
thing,
stuff-
you killed the poor thing for nothing.
You killed the poor thing for nothing. Well, there's nothing wrong with being an animal lover, but sometimes you need to kill. We need deers for food. I had venison meat. I don't know why some people don't like it. I love venison meat. My granddad had venison meat, and I would eat it, and with A1 sauce, and it was fucking great. I love it, especially with mashed potatoes. Like it was an awesome dinner. So yeah, I love that.
I eat it.
So I wouldn't kill the deer for nothing. I'd kill it for food.
Then
No.
Wait.
asshole and lips
You
and all.
cannot
Oh
tell
my
me.
God.
You cannot tell me. This shit that they got going on now in these mass shootings.
It's not the school. First off, the school shootings. Look at the picture of the fucking kid. If the parents didn't raise a red flag, or any counselor didn't see a fucking red flag with that, that's the parents' fault. That's the school's fault.
School's fault.
That's what's so fucked up with these mass shootings. If somebody posts a threat on social media, or has violent behavior, or even threats in public, that should have been a red flag right there. That's nobody's fault. They should have arrested that kid, probably sent him home. That's what they should have done. Sometimes people are too dumb enough to see a red flag with that shit.
Society,
If some kid
everybody.
dresses and acts like that, there should have been red flags. Unless
Yeah, they could have crazy colored hair. Now, I have nothing against different colored dye hair, just as long as it looks fine and you don't act like a weirdo. Like Tom McDonald, he used to have green hair, but he's not one of those losers that nobody fucking cares about. So, as long as you don't act like those people, then I don't care. And as long as it looks fine on your hair, then great, because I've watched anime shows where anime women have different colored hair, like Yoko, Rhea Scaramari, or as a Scarlet have red hair, or red dyed hair. Lucy Cashinada from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. That fucking show made me cry my eyes out. Um, her hair is naturally white, but she has a little bit of blue dye around the tips. And if somebody's got let's say if somebody, there was this one girl had short blue hair, and her bangs were like to her eyebrows, and she had so much ring piercings on her nose, and I was like, what the fuck? That's unattractive. One ring piercing, like on the nose here, here, or here, just one ring piercing, that's fine, but too much, no thank you. And that hairstyle was horrible. Now, I don't have anything against different colored dyed hairs, as long as it doesn't look like shit, as long as it doesn't ruin your hair, as long as it doesn't make you look like a scumbag, then that's fine.
They're all fucking colorblind and they think red flags are green. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't have their
What
eyes. But it's not. Don't blame
It's
the
called
gun.
a red flag law.
A gun doesn't.
Yeah, it's called a red flag law. That's like a metaphor. A red flag mean a sign of danger.
I can set a gun on the table. It's not gonna fucking shoot somebody. If somebody fucks up and shoot somebody.
No, it's
Wait a
not.
minute. Wait a minute. You're gonna tell me I'm a person who owns a gun, as I said before.
Yeah.
I have two of them. All right. But my point I'm trying to make.
And the
There is no
age
reason.
thing, if I'm old enough to serve my country, I'm old enough to have a gun. If
There
I'm old enough
is
to serve my
no-
country, I'm
What
old
do
enough to
you
have a
need that?
fucking
Why
beer.
do you
But
need
wait a
that gun
minute.
for?
To protect. Like hell, I'm 18 years old now. I'm old enough to live on my own. I protect my sister, and this is fucked up. But if my mom and dad are both at work, and some fucking lunatic wants to try to come after us, and it wants to be like Wild Bill from the Green Mile, and wants to try to use me and my sister's love to use our love to kill us, I need a gun to. It's fucked up. I know. I hope to God it never happens. I hope to God it never happens. It's terrifying. It's ugly. That's what self-defense is. But hell, it's either gonna be you or that lunatic. And somebody that you care about too, because if after they kill you, they're probably gonna kill somebody you love too. There's fucked up people like that.
If you're able to serve your country, you're going out and getting trained, right?
There's
going through
classes
discipline.
to get trained with a gun.
Then again, that's what shooting ranges are for. You don't have to go to the military to get good with a gun. Okay? You can also go to shooting ranges. Okay? And discipline, you need great. I'm not saying my parents were perfect, but they have done a very good job of raising me. I am mature now. I feel like I'm a 30-year-old man trapped in an 18-year-old's body. That I don't feel like the world is against me. I don't feel like that I'm a loser that nobody cares about. And I have plans. I have a future. And I'm sane enough to know that I shouldn't be murdering some innocent person that doesn't deserve it, or even that just says some stupid shit to me. Okay? That's what you need. Parents need to do their jobs to teach their own kids discipline. Yeah, send them to military school. Go ahead, do that. Teach them discipline like that. But it should also be the parents' job to discipline their kids too. Okay? That's another thing.
You're getting discipline and everything else in the military. You cannot compare.
Football can also teach you discipline too.
What are you walking away for,
I need my
dipshit?
McDonald's!
What a dipshit.
Well, because he's hungry.
What the fuck?
You cannot
I can see why this is called Lunatic Family, because they're kind of lunatics. They're all lunatics.
compare the military of 18 of right to bear arms and be able to protect our country.
Yes, you can. Because back in the Revolutionary War, We weren't just fighting the British, we were also fighting the government. We were trying to fight against the tyrannical government that would take our guns away. Because the government, still to this day, the government wants to confiscate our guns away from us because they want us to rely on them to protect us. We should not be doing that. We should not just have to wait for law enforcement or a government to protect us. We shouldn't have to ask permission for us to defend ourselves. Every American citizen should be, except criminals, needs to be a security guard for their own surroundings. They shouldn't just be using guns for their homestead or in their vehicles. And you should have the right to carry a gun in the store, just as long as you're not one of those lunatics or any of these criminals. Should be, because they could shoot mass shootings in stores. And there's this guy named Randy Stair. Look him up. Randy Stair. He's a fucking lunatic. He believed that he was a cartoon girl trapped in a man's body. And he went to the place where he worked at Weiss, and he started shooting there. Thank God one person survived, but he caused a shooting over there, and then he took his own life. That's why you need a gun, because there could be lunatics like that out there. And once you can't just wait for somebody to come after you, you have to shoot that person, because that person could shoot somebody else. You can't just save your own life. You can save someone else. I'm not saying that you should be like superheroes. Go around, make sure nobody is going to stop doing crime. Don't look for trouble. Wait for the trouble to come to you. Wait for the trouble to find you. And yeah, then again, we're not going to be like superheroes. Don't go to the store and make sure nobody's shooting the place. That's the security's job. That's when I would rely on security. But if somebody unexpectedly, out of nowhere, starts shooting at a store like Walmart or at a mall, and you were not expecting that shit to happen, then that's different.
So, people,
Yeah, protect your freaking country.
And of course, Lunatic Kyle. Yeah, I've seen their YouTube channels before, and I haven't done the reactions on them, but I'm going to, since I guess everybody loves it when I do reactions, so I'll be doing that more, and I'll start reacting to this family. And of course, Kyle is going to interrupt and start some shit and be a smartass about everything.
please.
Sick of all the ads like this one?
Yes, I'm
Just
sick
head
of
to
all the ads.
adskiller.com, click on Activate Now, add AdsKiller.
A real conversation.
A real
Don't take your
conversation.
stupid ass
No.
out here. Shut up.
No,
Yeah,
you.
I don't even watch. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Technically,
You
Kyle,
shut up.
technically Kyle's right, because this ain't your country anymore. We're the youth. This is technically our country now.
Let me tell you something.
That dude's just being a smartass.
You think this kid, the state of mind that he's in sometimes?
I know, like, I've seen their videos before. Yeah, Kyle is a fucking idiot. That one video where he accidentally broke his older brother Lawrence's car because he had one broken arm. Those two videos pissed me off, and he deserved to have his Bluetooth headset broken after that. That video pissed me off. Kyle was such an asshole in those two videos. But not every fucking 21-year-old is like that. I can't even fathom a person like Lunatic Kyle, and he's like 22, I'm 18 now. Again, there's still immature idiots out there. Which makes perfect sense. But not everybody's like that.
Should have ownership of a gun.
No,
Yeah.
he's a prime example of who should not have a gun.
Should
What?
Yeah.
You should definitely have a gun.
Oh, hell no. None of your ass is gonna have a gun here. Because if I find out, you are gonna get shot
Blah,
by
blah,
me.
blah, blah, blah.
Now, I can kind of understand why Lunatic Mom over there would not want her kids to have guns, because they're just fucking idiots. Now, with that, I do understand, because they're different than I am. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect. I'm not trying to say I'm better than everybody. But, yeah, with this, I can kind of understand where they're going with. But they probably haven't met other people either.
Get out of here.
Mom's
Right in your ass.
This is serious conversation.
Yeah?
Please just leave.
Mom's gonna
You're annoying.
Mom's
You're
gonna
annoying.
Now,
Rat-tat-tat-tat.
now, again.
Again.
Mental-
Again.
Jag off. Fucking Jag. You're a mother.
Hey!
I can't stand it.
Oh, you
This
got
is
him
what I'm
up
talking
now.
about. This is what I'm talking about. This kid has no idea. He's not even working. Now I'm working at Sobeys.
Okay,
Exactly.
That is relevant to what happened to those 4 children.
Right.
The 4 children were killed for nothing, for stupidity, for all the assholes to get rich because they got money for that freaking ass gun.
They want to hear an actual apologetic video and sincere
Would-
video, not this bullshit.
Would you agree?
Well, you started the bullshit, Kyle.
Would you agree, man?
I don't want to hear your bullshit now.
That
Stop arguing!
come on. Right. If you guys want to do a fucking real shit, let's talk real
Oh,
shit.
real
We're
shit.
talking
Enough
real
of this
shit.
bullshit.
We're talking real shit.
No, we're not talking real shit right now. You guys are acting like a bunch of assholes.
What's fucked up is everybody wants to go.
Yeah, you get out of the way.
Everybody wants to go immediately like, let's just take the guns away. This won't happen. Okay, cool, that won't happen. But another thing is look how the kid was.
Take the guns away? No, taking the guns away will not work. They're still going to be criminals that are going to find some way to keep the guns. Like, have you watched Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone?
Look how the kid was fucking dressing. Yes, you can dress however the fuck you want to dress, but there should be some kind of red flag that'd be like, hey, maybe he shouldn't have a gun. Maybe he shouldn't have a license. You know, like.
Yeah, that a license to drive a car. Yeah, you could also kill somebody by driving a car, dude.
You know what I'm saying? We should reevaluate how we deal with these people.
Yeah.
Not just.
We should have stricter gun laws.
Stricter gun laws is not going to work. We already have gun laws. That's what some people don't get. We still have gun laws. We've been making gun laws since the early 1918. We've done that, and more gun laws is not going to work. That's like trying to do the same shit but expecting a different result. That's not going to stop criminals from committing shootings or committing crimes with guns.
How about
Hey, who's talking?
I was talking too.
my voice is
Oh my God,
already
you
fucked
people
up. Get
suck.
the fuck out of here.
You cannot even have a simple conversation without yelling
Yes,
at your
I
people.
can.
Now,
No, you can't, Kyle.
Let him talk.
I cannot. I'm gonna lose my train of thought in a second.
Lose it.
When you got background checks, the background checks are the weakest in the world.
Oh, yeah, he even admit background checks are the weakest in the world because they're not always helpful. Yes, they may show, hey, I'm not a lunatic yet. And I mean yet, yeah, I'm not a lunatic, but doesn't mean that I'm not going to be a lunatic soon. Background checks may show that you haven't lost your mind yet, but it doesn't prevent you from losing your mind. You can not what the hell, like some rich celebrities used to be poor American, poor. Some of them used to be average American citizens, and then people like Mark Hamill, Robert De Niro, Jamie Lee Curtis that have been in Hollywood for so long. And trust me, I do want to go to Hollywood and do filmmaking, but they've been, and I love their movies too, I do, but now that they're almost, some of them are in their 70s, that, except James Woods, but some of them are in their 70s, that they're not the person they used to be, because Hollywood has changed them so much. Like Robert De Niro, He's 80 years old and he's got another kid. That kid is gonna grow up without a father because he's now 80 years old. Like, what the fuck is that?
First off, you're talking about the red flag should have came up and everything else. These gun owners, you can buy guns up on the freaking internet.
Yeah,
That's true.
Black market.
And you can
Well, the black
print it.
market.
And you can
No, it's not
print
the black
one.
market.
Yeah, that's how these
And you
18-year-olds
can
and
print
19-year-olds
one.
sell
Do you know what a gun is on the black market?
Yeah.
It's $10,000. You're not getting a gun on
You're
the
not
black
gonna
market.
go on
You can order a gun on a regular gun website. They're
Yeah.
not going to the black market. You can go www.letmebuyAgun.com. I'm sure something will fucking
Yeah,
pop up.
they're gonna go dumbass and he's gonna get a gun.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I'll order one right now.
Bottom,
AR-15.
bottom line. Until you're a parent and
Went
you
down.
lose
Oh,
one of your little kids at that age, how many more mass shootings do we have to do before somebody starts doing
And what
shit?
you've done
We
the
got
wrong
a
way.
million. We got a million unemployed.
I swear
It
to
went down
God,
the
I
wrong
swear to
way.
God, you are the most annoying fucker I know.
Yeah, Lunatic Kyle, you are. Do you know what I notice? Gun laws are not, stricter gun laws are not going to prevent criminals from shooting people, right? But more guns can, which means more people can have the security. What people need to do with these schools first, they need to hire more armed guards with bulletproof vests and AR-15s. Like my school that I went to, so far, we got metal detectors, right? That's a good start from there. We should also get armed guards with bulletproof vests with AR-15s. And some teachers, if they want to, not saying that they should, can't force them to do it, something they don't want to do, but if they want to, they can also use guns too to protect their students. And speaking of metal detectors, that's another reason why you have to be 21 to get a handgun, because 18 gun AR-15s are longer and bigger. They're not small enough to where you can put it in your pants and hide from everybody else. Because if everybody sees an 18-year-old walking around with an AR-15, they're like, oh my god, that person has a gun. They're more aware. But a handgun, putting it in their pants, nobody knows. Nobody has any idea. Like hell, somebody could put an a gun in their pants and sneak it into school. That's also a good idea why we have metal detectors. We should also have security for schools too. Armed security for schools. More armed guards with bulletproof vests with AR-15s. That will stop mass school shootings. Stricter gun laws is not going to help that. I know that sounds silly, saying, oh, more guns will stop gun shootings. I know that sounds silly, but if you the explanation of that, of how I'm explaining it, more people being protected, more armed security, that's a better explanation where it makes more sense. And yeah, look at that fucking dumb look on Kyle's face. I don't even like him either.
Why?
Get out of here!
Why?
Let him speak.
I have been this entire
My boys,
video.
I'm telling you right now, I'm dead fucking serious now. And when I tell you I'm dead serious, I mean I'm fucking dead serious.
We have a million.
You're not realizing what I'm trying to tell you.
I am
My
realizing.
voice is going
And you.
I want to see if Kyle has really been letting him speak.
Why?
We got a million unemployed.
I
It
swear to
went
God,
down the
I
wrong
swear
way.
it starts doing
And what
shit.
you've done
We
the
got
wrong
a-
way.
Do we have to do before somebody starts doing
And what
shit?
you've done
We
the
got
wrong
a
way.
million. We got a million unemployed.
I swear
It
to
went
God,
down the
I
wrong
swear
way.
Yeah, Kyle made a noise. And there's that dumb face again. Yeah, Kyle made a noise, and then he started interrupting him. So no, he wasn't letting him speak.
Why?
Let him speak.
I have been this entire
My boy.
video.
No, you weren't, Kyle.
I'm telling you right now, I'm dead fucking serious now. And when I tell you I'm dead serious, I mean I'm fucking dead
We
serious.
have a million. We have a.
You're not realizing what I'm trying to tell you.
We have a.
I am
My
realizing.
voice is going
And you.
the fuck
No, you don't.
off this video.
No.
Wish you had help getting things done? same.
Yeah, Kyle's so
So
annoying.
I
I
got
understand
Spectrum One.
why
Get
his fucking
300
father
megabit
is so
internet for
is
$49.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi,
didn't
and
want
your first line of
doesn't want
unlimited
to put
mobile
up with
free
them.
for 12 months. Visit Spectrum.com or stop by a store today.
Now, this isn't scientific, but I did a poll around New York, and what people
Epic
believed about the
times.
Constitution shocked.
No.
No!
Anyway,
We have 1 million unemployed fucking veterans. Just put one at every fucking school in America. There you go. If somebody walks in that's not supposed to be there, don't ask questions. Just shoot around the room.
Oh my god, speaking of military, background checks, me explaining that just because you have a background check doesn't mean it's going to prevent you from going crazy. There's people in the military that have lost their fucking minds with what they went through. The pressure they go through. I have a drone tech teacher who's ex-military. He talks about when you start signing up in the military, after even one day of going training, sometimes you might go into your bed and cry yourself to sleep like, oh my god, why the fuck did I get myself in this mess? Yeah, he explains that shit. And that's the pressure that some of these military people go through. Have you watched Full Metal Jacket, where Private Pyle gets bullied by a sergeant that makes fun of him for being fat, and then one time he starts shooting his Sergeant Hartman in the chest, then he shoots himself with that gun, that rifle. You can lose your mind with what you go through in the military, and you can even make friends in the military. You can be friends with your own soldiers who become your best friends. Then once you're in a war, they die in your arms, and it's a horrible memory. You can go through some crazy shit and probably lose your mind in the military. So yeah, background checks is not going to it's not going to keep you from going crazy. And that's why we have homeless veterans, because they're not mentally stable to hold a job because of the shit they've went through. That's why we have homeless veterans. I would mention Charles Whitman, who was a military soldier that went up to the clock tower and shot college kids back in 1966, but that was before background checks were a thing. Background checks became a thing probably when Ronald Reagan had attempt assassination on him back in 1981 by some lunatic. So yeah, that goes with my point. Military people could become normal people until the shit they go through with the pressure they go through. And they could go through some crazy shit, they'll lose their minds. They can become best friends with other soldiers until their friend dies, and that's trauma for them. That supports my point that background checks are not always helpful.
That's where it should be.
we already have it.
Don't ask questions. Just shoot around the room. That's where it should be.
We already have it in the...
And another thing is, America's just, they lost their fucking balls. Because you can't even fucking defend yourself if you wanted to.
Right.
And that's the reason the cops probably didn't go into school. You can't shoot anybody even if you have a reason to, because there's lawsuits upon lawsuits.
Right, because...
America's not what America...
Exactly. Even though there's some people, innocent people, that were an intruder comes into their house, that's a burglar, and a guy shoots that burglar, and that person can still be put to jail, even though they had the right to shoot that person to protect himself and his family. There's innocent people that still have went to jail even though they did the right thing. He's hitting shit on the point with that too.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody has lost their balls too.
Because I
First
think
off,
they're
the
gonna sue
military,
your ass
the
for
police
everything.
are trained for a live action shooter.
Well, they're
I'm
doing
gonna tell
a
you the
terrible
law.
job.
I'm going to tell you the law, and I'm going to educate you.
Yeah, but what's the point of that?
They
You get
are
fucking
allowed.
sued right after you shoot
They
Yeah.
waited 1 hour. 1 hour with this psycho son of a bitch.
Why did they wait?
Inside
Why did they
them.
wait?
Because they shouldn't have.
Yeah, but why
They
did
should have
they?
went in.
Brandon Tam is a police officer. Well, he was a police officer. He now has his own YouTube channel. He'll explain that to you. You just have to ask him. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched the video. I tried looking it up to try to explain it. but they probably already took it down because YouTube is a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, but obviously they didn't.
And
Obviously
they
they don't care.
called it on the radio and say, stay away, it's an active shooter, don't go in there. Okay, dumbass, there was poor little children, how they gonna freaking ass protect themselves? That's the reason you assholes should be in there.
There has to be.
They know
When
this.
is the next? The only thing I say is, until you're a parent, when you're a mother or father of children,
They poor babies.
and you see this happening, there has to be. What it is you got a lot of people that are so gung ho that you're not going to tell me what to do. I live in America. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. No one's going to tell me. Well, sometimes you need to be fucking told.
No, they all live.
Sometimes
I,
you need to
me,
be
and
told.
myself, and they don't give a rat's
Why
ass
is it
about
that
the
they
next.
can own shotguns and ARs and all that at 18, but can't own handguns?
And I already explained that, and I'll explain it one more time since the video is almost over. A rifle, shotguns are bigger. Handguns are smaller. Rifles are too big to where you can't put something in your pants and hide it. Handguns, you can't. Handguns, you can. But when you hold a rifle or a shotgun and you walk around in front of people with it, people are going to like, oh, that person has a weapon. They're more aware of it. And if you're like 18 and you're still in high school like I am, I'm about to be a senior. It's going to be my last year before I go to college. You can't sneak that shit into school, especially when you got metal detectors. But with a handgun, when you put it in your pants, people are gonna have no idea, and somebody could still easily sneak that shit into schools that don't have metal detectors. That's why. It sounds silly, but when I explain it, there's a reason why you gotta be 18 to have a shotgun or a rifle, but 21 to own a handgun. Now, you can have a handgun in the military, but not when you're an average citizen. And yeah, the argument, being 18 to go to the military, but 21 to buy a pack of cigarettes and drink a beer, that shit's silly. Not just because I'm biased and I'm 18 and I want to do that shit. That's not just because of that. I just think it's stupid. Like, you're smart enough to go join the military, but you're not smart enough to buy a pack of cigarettes and drink beer. Going to the military is a hell of a lot more dangerous than smoking cigarettes and drinking a beer, dude. But yeah, that's my point.
Back to beating the kids in school. American, like,
All that at 18, but can't
we need
own
to go back to
handguns.
beating the kids in school. American, like, what the fuck?
That is what I've been saying.
That's not gonna
If
fix
parents
anything.
were not put with handcuffs on their wrists, that they can't discipline the way it was when I was coming up. My generation is so respectful.
Yeah, that my mom. I don't know what gen. I don't know exactly what. I think Lunatic Dad just turned 6 years old, so he was born in 1963. That's probably like fuck, A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X. Okay, he's probably Generation W, and my parents are Generation X. My parents' generation is more respectful too. The world seemed like, I get it, there was no internet, there was no laptops like I have right now. We didn't have fucking Nintendo Switches and Xbox games. We didn't have the technology to do the shit that I'm doing today. But it seemed like that the world was a better place and an easier place back in the day. Like, not the 70s, I'm talking about like the 80s when my parents decided we're growing up. We're kids.
You beat my ass at school because I was laughing at another child. And nobody did. And then I was scared to go home because I would have begun
This video is so lost, you don't even know what the hell you're taking it.
No.
her parents. Well, you shouldn't be bullying anybody, laughing at anybody. So there were still people. That is the only problem, though. There was more bullies in school. There's still some bullies like that today, but not as. Like, I'm just saying this with context. They would just call. Yeah, there would be. Yeah, that's one fucked up thing about back in the day in my parents' generation. There would be like my mom was made fun of they made fun of my mom because she had autism, which is why I have now. They made fun of my mom because of the glasses she was wearing. They would make fun of you if you have braces. And they would even call you a fag in front of everybody, and nobody would say anything about it. Now, if you call somebody a fag today, they would wear your ass down in school. You'd get suspended. That is one good thing about this generation, but than it was back at when my mom and dad were young. But sometimes they go a little bit too far by trying to look for bigotry nowadays. Like a fucking autistic kid was arrested for saying that a police officer looks like a lesbian.
We're just talking about life.
That's fucked up.
Bullshit. Now.
Life.
Bullshit.
You just have a small attention span. You can't go
Disrespect. There is no respect in here. Nobody respects
No, I've
one
been
another.
trying to
Nobody
say, well, you guys
respects
weren't even giving me the spotlight to even
respects
speak.
nothing.
There's nothing left to hear you. You're 5 years old.
You're 5 years old.
I'm older than you, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Hey.
oh well.
Hey, what I'm trying to say.
I'm going to have a beer.
Go
Is
have
it-
your
No, you
freaking
don't.
stupid beer.
It's too early. You people are going to drink at this time, you dumbasses.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
No, it's not.
Someday.
Drop a like on this video. Don't
Get
forget
the
to
fuck
subscribe.
out
Out
of
of
here,
here.
fucking asshole.
Why?
Get out.
No.
Yeah, get out, Kyle.
Like and describe and hit that button.
Guys, that is my thoughts on all this shit. The conversation with the family. Kyle's a total fucking asshole. Don't care about the likes or anything else. It ain't about that.
Yeah,
It's about
totally.
feeling sorry for the people that happened in Texas and
I'm
everything
gonna
else.
make a
I'll
real
talk to you
video.
later.
Don't worry,
Bye.
guys. I'll
Our
make a real
babies
video.
and the families.
Let's add a little polish.
I can pause this. I don't give a shit about the ad. Yeah, this video was longer than I expected. I didn't know I was gonna explain that much or pause that much in the video. It took longer to finish the video because I kept talking a lot. But that's what everybody has been wanting. They want me to say more stuff. I've been trying to do reactions and explain stuff and talk about stuff instead of just sitting down on my chair not saying anything. So I would try to point out everything that happens in the video of what my thoughts about it and repeat what that person said. And another thing that I have not mentioned about this video, if Lunatic Dad doesn't think that you should be 18 to own a gun like you can join the military at 18, then I guess 16-year-olds really shouldn't be. I guess 16-year-olds shouldn't be driving. Because there are some 16-year-olds that are immature that still hold their phones up and get distracted while texting and driving and probably also calling on their phones too. And they have either accidentally killed somebody or accidentally killed themselves or both themselves and somebody else. There are some irresponsible 16-year-olds that are like that. And you could accidentally kill somebody while driving a car too. So that's just my response. If an 18-year-old shouldn't own an AR-15 like they can when they serve the military, then I guess 16-year-olds shouldn't be driving then. Alright. So that's my response to Lunatic Dad. This wasn't like a video that he made of me or something. This was just my thoughts I wanted to point out to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you all next time.